What is up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. I hope you're all doing well, and of course we are back for another video as I do a review to our game at the weekend at home against Watford. First of all, before I get started, please hit the like button. Like I say, it does help with the algorithm to get the video noticed basically, and then hit the subscription button if you haven't already. We are on the road to 200 subscribers. We're only actually 31 away from that now, so if you could help me get there, that would be absolutely fantastic. Like I say, I am working hard on these videos and trying to, make them as good as I can. And yeah, so yeah, appreciate it if you could do that, and then also comment your thoughts on anything that's discussed in this video, of course, and anything you want to add, and your thoughts on the overall picture of Huddersfield at the moment. But yeah, let's get into the game, and so yeah, I mean, it was pretty much the same old story from our perspective, unfortunately. Watford, for me, just dominated from the very first minute, if I'm honest. We couldn't ever sustain any amount of pressure in this game. Watford was never in danger of losing this one once they went ahead. And like I said, they had countless chances before they scored that first goal. Yeah, we just... It's really hard to talk about, to be honest with you, if I'm honest with you, with how, not just this game, but obviously where we are this present moment, and the demise of this football club. Obviously I absolutely adore and love. From where we were, go back to when we got to the Premier League, to be fair, and then obviously, on the brink of promotion back to the Premier League after being relegated, of course, against Nottingham Forest, and to this, pretty much in the space of 6 months. This is just really, really difficult to take. I mean, obviously, the first goal that Watford scored, I mean, if you look back at the goal, to be fair, he should never have been scoring from that angle. I'm not sure how he was allowed to get that into the net from that angle. Nobody should be scoring from there. And really, we should be seeing him out on the right rather than letting him come in and have a strike. But yeah, poor goal for us to concede. And once that first goal went in, I thought, here we are. We're not going to come back from this. Because that's the reality. I'm not being negative, I'm just saying it how I feel. And the problem we've got is as soon as we go behind, at the moment, from my point of view and from where I see it, I don't see any way back into the game when we go behind. And that is something that in the past we've been really good at. Obviously, being able to fight back and either get a point or obviously go on to win. But and we've had some fantastic comebacks over the years, obviously, from losing position. But yeah, I just don't have any confidence in what we're trying to do at the moment. And obviously the second goal, again, such a poor goal to concede this from a set piece corner. Delivered straight in, obviously great ball, but again, free header, and that was pretty, like I said, that was pretty much game, set and match. If you ever believed when we went 1-0 down that we were going to get back into it, which I didn't, but if anybody feels like that, then this was just the definite of we are going to lose this match. And yeah, and that was the moment where everyone politely got up off their seats and left the stadium. There was a lot of people that left early. And yeah, I've never left early as such before. I don't think I ever will. but I'm not surprised, and that is just putting it as politely as I can. Like I say, yeah, obviously they did see the game out 2-0. Yeah, they deserved to win. There's no question about that. They did. But from our point of view, I mean, no game plan whatsoever, in my opinion. No, nothing. And for me, I'm sorry, Mark, but I'm not gonna come out and just be really horrible, because that's not what I'm about. But Fotheringham says the same thing after every single game, and I'm sitting there and I'm reading the comments or listening to it, and I'm thinking, have you watched the same game as me? Because it really doesn't sound like he did. And yeah, he says the same thing every single time, and you've just got to be honest. You just got to be more honest, Mark. And I don't really understand how we can be proud of performances that we're not really competing in at all. And yeah, it just completely baffles me. It was embarrassing, the performance. To be honest, it wasn't good enough at all. It hasn't been for a while, let's be honest. And yeah, absolutely dire. If you look at the stats in this one, they don't lie. They don't lie to you. We're getting dominated. We're not testing the keeper enough. We're having 1 or 2 shots on target. That's nowhere near enough for 90 plus minutes. We lack that threat. There doesn't seem to be any, there's no quality in there. We're just trying to, feed off scraps. There's just nothing, and this is it's really painful, because it just feels like it's a complete shambles on the pitch, but off it as well, because we know what's happening with the owner. We don't know what's happening though, but we know what the situation is regarding the ownership at the moment. We're still looking to sell the club. The stadium as well. KDSL who own the stadium. They're probably going to be going into administration soon. So I don't know what's going to happen with that. There's so much uncertainty at the moment at this football club, and it just makes me feel really uneasy and really kind of, yeah, it really hurts to see what is happening on the pitch as well as off it, and just the whole situation. It's just really, really difficult. And yeah, it's confirmed we did have 2 on target in this match. Obviously, it's just not good enough. There's no quality in there. Like I said, you're looking at the bench and you're thinking to yourself, who can actually come on and make a difference? We've got youngsters, in the starting lineup, and don't get me wrong, I don't mind seeing some youngsters in there, but Diarra and Kamara, they're great players. Don't get me wrong, but they're young. You've got to have quality around them to be able to help them a bit, and to have people that are vocal. And you're throwing them in the deep end ultimately. Oh, okay, I know that Kamara has played a lot more than Diarra has, but you could sense they were very nervous in this match. And I'm not just passing the blame to them two, because it's not about that, but Danny Ward doesn't look the same player than from what he was last season. He just doesn't seem to, he's just not, you can't fault him for effort, but he's the striker. We need to be seeing goals. Radone, I mean, he has been good, to be fair. I've liked Jack when I've seen him. He didn't stop in this game. He was trying to make things happen. You could see that, but there's just there's no quality around. That's the reality. You saw Thomas was in and out of the game. He was still good. He was a good player. Jorge, great. It's always great to see him start the game. But we're in a situation where, if you look at the table now, the gap is just extending. It's not getting to the point where you're feeling, oh, we might actually be able to get out of this. It's just extending and extending, And after the game on Saturday, I was kind of feeling very, very resigned to the fact that we are going to be going down, because I don't see any way out of this. We haven't got the quality in there. When you get to January, it doesn't look like we've got enough. Doesn't look like we've got any money to spend. So we can't even improve the squad. And ultimately, if we don't bring players in January, we are definitely going down, because we need players to come in and help us out here, because we're not scoring. The defensive side of things, okay, we conceded 2 in this game, but obviously we only conceded 1 at Sheffield United. It wasn't bad, fine margins and all that, but the biggest problem for me is the forwards. In the midfield, in the midfield, creativity, goals, strikers. We haven't got anything, and like I said, it is the gap between us and safety is standing at 7 points. We have got the better goal difference than the team in 21st, which is Hull, by a couple of goals. So we have got the better goal. So you could possibly say 6, because if we were kind of, if you're taking 1 off for goal difference, then we have got the edge on that. And obviously we have got a game in hand, but that doesn't really mean much, because obviously I've said in previous shows, especially last season, when there were teams around us that had games in hand because of COVID and things like that, and I said, it's better to have the points on the board than having games in hand, and I'd stick by that. So having a game in hand, okay, that's fine, but obviously the game in hand is away at Coventry, but I don't think it's any advantage, because you're still chasing. And ultimately, it just seems like there's just no fight in this squad. I'm sorry, but there isn't. And I don't really. I mean, I've looked on social media, and obviously, there's already rumours that Mark Fotheringham may be leaving already. Now, would I be that disheartened by that? Probably not, no, and that's no disrespect to Mark, but was he ever the person really that should have been taking this club forward? I don't think he was, because if you looked at the situation when obviously Schofield, obviously it wasn't working for Schofield, and obviously we decided to part ways with Schofield, you was thinking to yourself, well, I was anyway in that moment, we need somebody that is experienced, that is, at this level, and has managed before, he's actually managed, has been a manager before. Because, like I say, Danny Schofield hadn't managed a senior team, and Mark Fotheringham hadn't managed a senior team either. So I'm not really sure what the club was expecting by appointing not 1 but 2 managers that haven't had any first-hand experience of that role, because we haven't got time to be messing around. We need somebody that is experienced, that can come in, hit the ground running, knows what he's doing, and has knowledge of the league. That's just my opinion. And we've gone down the route of Mark Fotheringham, which to me, we look worse at times under him. And yeah, I would have gone for someone like Neil Warnock, and I know there's talk about Neil Warnock potentially, maybe, I don't know, maybe I did see it on one post, not official sources or whatever, but just an opinion of they'd like to see Neil Warnock come in, and I kind of agreed with that, because he has got a good track record. He'll get the team up for it, and he knows what he's doing. He does. His record doesn't lie. He's got it to back it up, and I do apologise for just continuously moaning on this show, but there really, I try and be the most positive person you'll ever hear, but I'm not sure how you can be positive at this moment, because it all looks very much doom and gloom, And yeah, we're heading to League One, and like I said, I feel like there's no hope of us getting out of this now. I really don't, and many of us will feel the same. I know they do, because I've seen and spoken to people about it, and yeah. So yeah, there's a lot of uncertainty. We need results, and I don't know where our next result is coming from. Well, I don't know where our next goal is coming from. Never mind result. And obviously January's around the corner, but I don't know. You know, it doesn't look like we're going to be that busy in January, and yeah. So I think that's kind of all I want to say, really, to be honest with you, in this one. We obviously head to Preston on Boxing Day. I'll be doing a preview to that game on Friday, so stay tuned for that. But yeah, we'll have to see what happens there. But so yeah, another disappointing result for us, and really, really worrying times for us as well. There's no doubt about that. Let's not hide away from the fact that this is really, really worrying, and it does, you know. And I go back to it. I am resigned to going down to League One, and I know I've said this already, but I am. And I know there's plenty of time left. And of course, we do have to try and stay a bit more positive, but I'm only saying what I see on the pitch, and at the moment, there just doesn't seem to be any way out of this mess. Because we're in a mess. It is a complete mess. And yeah, something has to give, but you know, we haven't got the quality. We haven't got the players. We've got a manager that, yeah, he's still learning on the job, and at times looks very questionable with what he's doing tactically. We don't have any game plan. I don't see what kind of direction Mark is trying to take us, if I'm honest. And yeah, it's just absolutely painful, and it hurts me so much to see us in this position, and to see it, you know, to see us really suffering at the moment. But yeah, thanks for watching, everyone. I'll like I said, please hit the like and subscribe to the channel. Also, comment your thoughts, and yeah, follow us on our socials at HTFTV8 on Instagram and Twitter. So please give me a follow on those. But yeah, until next time, have a good rest of the week. I'll be back on Friday, like I said. And yeah, take care, and I'll see you on the next one. Up the town.